Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Moletrap here, coming at you with another StarCraft commentary. Got an exciting game here for you guys today. This is going to be a Protoss versus Protoss between BeSt and Bisu. Bisu is going to be only star is his username in this case. He's going to be the brown Protoss in the bottom left-hand corner of the map. And he's going to be going up against BeSt in the top left-hand corner of the map. It is Dragon versus Dragon, ladies and gentlemen. Two of the best Protosses to ever play the game, battling it out here. This is from a replay pack from Bisu that I found from 2015. So this is not quite a modern game, but it's relatively new compared to some of the other games that we've been casting lately. Before I get too far into this, I do want to give a couple shout outs to some folks though. First of all, shout out to Austin. I hope you're having happy holidays, man. Hope you and Connie are doing well. And also I wanted to give some thanks to David and to Meng, who gave me some donations when I was streaming the other day. And I don't know if you guys were actually watching the stream, so thank you very much. And David, I actually just saw comment on a video from like a month ago, so David, when you catch up and watch this one from the backlog, thank you so much for that. Appreciate it. In any case, I hope everyone's having happy holidays, though. This is being recorded on Christmas Eve, and where I'm in my time zone at least, and hope everyone's doing well. And speaking of live casts, or live streams, I think I am going to be going ahead and doing a live stream on Christmas Day. So if you're watching this on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day and you're like, hey, you know what, I got nothing to do, I need to get away from my family Zoom for a little bit, watch some StarCraft, then we're going to be watching some StarCraft together, so just a heads up, FYI. But in any case, let's get back into this. And also, while these players are just ramping up their builds, both players just going for standard PvP builds. Gateway Gas, likely going to see Cybernetics cores drop down very soon from both these players as soon as they get enough money for it. Yeah, no real variation going on between these guys at all. You can kind of see even the production tab is just like almost identical here between these two players. They're such high level players. Their builds are so professionally refined. It's not a surprise that they're going to be almost exactly identical in the way that they build this early game. But in any case, real quick note, by the way, because a lot of people have been asking me to do more modern games, 2019, 2020 games, and I would like to meet that request. However, I just want to point out that it's actually not easy to do because it's basically impossible to get replays from high-level players in 2020 these days. So that makes it difficult to do replay commentaries. And as far as, look at this, even both blocking their ramp with zealots just to make sure, in case the other one is doing something cheesy, they've got a little bit of a blockade. Also to try and prevent scouting as well. And it looks like both players are not really going to be able to get a scout in at all. We have BeSt scouting a little bit later and going around the map in kind of the wrong direction. Bisu has already scouted. I'm sorry. Bisu is the brown. I've got to try and get that straight. Bisu is the brown Protoss. He's scouted the wrong direction. But BeSt has scouted he's scouted the wrong direction too, but he's now gotten, and actually it looks like Bisu is even just like looking around for proxies, just like checking out the rest of the map to make sure there's nothing fishy going on. And so that's pretty smart of him. He's just kind of looking around, making sure there's nothing surprising coming out here. He is going to be pushing out with a couple Zealots and a Dragoon, by the way, just to push out to the front here. Wouldn't be surprised to see both these players expand off of this. Okay, robotics facility at the ramp for BeSt. This is very interesting. So what this is doing is he's going to try and actually the same thing for Bisu. Wow, a just complete mirror build here. Both players are just trying to do basically the same thing. We don't see oh, there's the Dragoon. Okay. Actually, BeSt's Dragoon was going out and doing some scouting, trying to catch a probe, and is going to get caught out in the open by Bisu's Dragoon. Bisu's Dragoon now is going to get caught not in the open, but still caught nonetheless, attempting to chase down that Dragoon. Again, only shield damage done to both players, though, so no significant damage whatsoever to either player. But in any case, it's interesting to see that we've got this robotics facility for both players at the ramp, so that way they have that ability to, yeah, there's the observatory for, and actually we do have the robotics support bait going down. I actually can't even tell. Okay, it's for Bisu. So Bisu going for the quick rivers. What is BeSt going to go for? He's making an observer straight away, as is Bisu. But if we look at the differences, you know, I'm gonna go ahead and turn off the production tab for a minute here and just try and focus on like what is the reality right now. Basically, they're even in supply, but Bisu is somehow a little bit ahead in tech. He's got one extra probe at the moment. That's not very significant though. But you want to make that the robotics facility at the ramp so that when the Reaver pops out, it's in a perfect spot to fire Scarabs down and defend if need be, if your opponent is going for some sort of a crazy all-in. But both players are basically attempting to block against all-ins, but also not going all-in themselves. And so, okay, there's the Reaver actually. So somehow I missed the robotic support bay for BeSt. So they both, again, just almost identical builds here. But in any case, I think things are going to start getting spicy in this game very soon. So I'm going to quickly close out that note that I was making before, which is it's hard to get modern replays of high-level players. And the tournaments that are being played right now are either being already cast in English by professional casters or amateur casters in some cases, or you know, if it's a modern tournament, it's a little bit dicier as far as, you know, I don't want to be casting VODs of modern tournaments without permission, and so I will try to ask permission of some of these tournaments, but usually that's not going to happen either. I just asked about, it seems like a lot of the Africa leagues, for example, that are only casted in Korean, they will not give permission for English casters, so just something to keep in mind. Anyway, BeSt has pushed down the ramp with that Reaver. He's using it to protect his expansion, and we're going to see the exact same thing from Bisu down here at the bottom as well. So pretty much identical builds all the way along. We do have BeSt just a tiny bit ahead in supply. He's going to be transferring his workers down to his expansion a little bit earlier as well. Just a tiny bit. So it's just going to come down to, like I said, I feel like it's going to get spicy very soon. Both these players are now going to start bringing in the money for their expansions. They're going to get extra gateways, and they may get extra gateways. Yeah, there's more gateways going down for Bisu. He's actually only been on one gateway this whole time. That's kind of interesting. And he's actually pushing out here. We'll see if this is able to accomplish anything. He actually has a lesser army supply, so Bisu is not in the best situation right here to be pushing in, but he's just kind of poking in, prodding in order to distract at the front so he can get a Reaver off in the back, getting several probe kills there, and he's going to get another Scarab off, killing one more probe and damaging the shields of these two Dragoons in addition. So it looks like he only got actually 3 or 4 probes there. Not a game-winning clinching, not a game-clinching amount, but still a significant amount. And we do have the shuttle and the Reaver out for BeSt, but he is not choosing to use that for harassment. He's instead choosing to use it for defense right now. So Bisu kind of just evening up that tiny little lead that that BeSt had in the supply. Now they're even in supply counts right now, and pretty much looking to do again the same thing. But probably what we're going to see now that they both have their expansions up, they're getting the extra production facilities up, they're going to start pumping out lots of units, and then we are going to see some battles happening, and we're going to see some beautiful, we're going to see, you know, the reason why I actually love Protoss versus Protoss, because I love the elegance and the simplicity, and I say simplicity of it, the simplicity of just, you know, Dragoon micro and Reaver shuttle micro, the elegance and simplicity of that. And when I say simplicity, I mean like it's straightforward, but it's not simple to execute by any means. It's very complex in the way that it's executed properly, and that is where the skill comes out. So, you know, PvP is interesting in that sense, that like that's kind of one of the reasons I like it, because it is very mirrory, but it means that the best player is going to win the battle because they're going to just execute slightly better, and they're going to do things like pick off a few probes or possibly pick off an observer. No, the observer does escape death there by dodging around the course of that. And we do have BeSt pushing out right now. This is interesting. He is now going for similar situation that Bisu did. He's pushing his army down one side as a distraction. He's pushing his Reaver with the shuttle down the other side to try and go in for some kills. The Dragoon is there. It's going to get pushed back. He could have gotten the Reaver out, and he could have killed some probes there, I'm sure of it, but he decides to retreat instead because he probably would have lost the where's Bisu's shuttle right now? Is this I actually can't tell whose shuttle that is right now. Okay, we get some Dragoons getting caught in the open here, so it's getting some nice pickoffs for BeSt. I saw Bisu's shuttle heading out onto the map. There it is. Okay, it's just rejoined with his army. So when we saw BeSt heading into the back here, I noticed that Bisu's shuttle was heading off into the middle of the map to go for some harassment potentially as well. But he's fallen back and has just chosen to regroup that shuttle with his army, keep it with the bulk of his army. Again, this is just balanced on a knife's edge, ladies and gentlemen, because both players have almost the exact same amount of stuff. But is Bisu saving up for an expansion for a third base? He's got a bunch of money in the bank right now. We'll see if he actually dumps it into a Nexus or if he actually dumps it into a round of units. Templar Archives is just finishing up here for Bisu right now. So, and they're both going for, it looks like, almost identical upgrades at the same time too. Bisu, though, is putting out some Dark Templar. Now, I don't know if these Dark Templar are going to be able to accomplish very much. Hold that thought, because we do have some posturing in the middle of the map. Bisu has a superior force here. BeSt, though, might have gotten a little bit of a catch of a flank there, but he's not going to engage. Now, BeSt actually has some of his army back at home, so hold that thought. Here's a little bit of a drop going on in the back here. Just a couple Zealots, and there's the Reaver as well. It's going to go for some probes, and the Scarab, oh, duds. So no damage done. The shuttle's already gone down. The Reaver gets picked off. This is actually terrible for BeSt. I missed the input of that fight, but in the meantime, Bisu is actually pushing back in the middle of the map too while he cleans up these Zealots. And BeSt is in a little bit of trouble because Bisu has not necessarily, if you look at the supply, they're about even, but Bisu has a tactical advantage, I feel, right now, as well as he's got more money in the bank to continue producing units at a higher level, as well as that Dark Templar, which I don't know where that there's the Dark Templar. Not sure what he's up to, running off into the middle of the map. And here we go, Bisu dropping down. Bisu has the shuttle to go with his Reavers. He's got the tactical advantage. BeSt dodges in and actually attacks the shuttle directly. The shuttle is almost dead. He cannot use that shuttle anymore for micro, actually. Otherwise, he will risk losing both Reavers at the same time. And knowing this, he's actually going to pick up and go. Without the shuttle, Bisu had a little bit of an advantage there because he could have run in and picked off these Reavers, but the shuttle arriving means that BeSt has the advantage in that fight, the tactical advantage, having the ability to micro his Reavers more. Now, Bisu is actually being a little bit dangerous here. Going in, he's going to drop out these Reavers in front and go in, and BeSt almost, oh, he actually lost one of the Reavers there. A little bit of a miss micro there, having his units unattended, his Reavers unattended. Bisu now slow crawling his Reavers in, taking pot shots. These Dragoons are clumped up for some nice Scarab hits, and the damage is being done. The Dark Templar is there as well. Significant damage being done by that. There is an observer overhead, but it doesn't even matter if you're not going to pick it off. And Bisu, taking a huge lead in this battle, has pushed BeSt back into his natural, and he's maintained control of his Reavers as well. The shuttle has actually recharged half of its shield, so it's not in complete danger anymore, but BeSt has the reinforcing position. He's going to run in with the Zealots. He's picking away at those Reavers. He's trying to target down the shuttle because he knows if he can kill off the shuttle, then he can kill off the Reavers, but he gets too close to the Reavers. The Dragoons die, but the last shot from the Dragoons do kill off the shuttle. Bisu's Reavers are now vulnerable, but does it even matter because BeSt doesn't have any forces to actually run in and kill that Reaver? And now the probes are wide open. The killing blow, Reaver Scarab might go off right here. That one was a little bit of a dud, only killing one probe, but if he gets a nice clump of them, and there's the GG coming from BeSt. Beautiful play by both players. Wow. And I mean, that was exactly like I said. I know some people don't like PvP as a result of because of what we just saw, where it was just kind of like the same thing happening for a while. You know, in the end, I like just, like I said, the elegance of a nice endgame PvP fight like we had right here. And actually, let's even go back a little bit farther and we can rewatch this fight from the beginning. And you know, it was beautiful to see that we had this situation where, you know, they were basically even. Look, the supplies are exactly even. Now, they're both getting Templar tech. They're both getting Templar right now. But what that means for Bisu is he has a Dark Templar out on the map, which we saw come in a little bit later. So it's up here checking for an expansion, trying to get some probe kills if that was a possibility, while he's expanding, by the way. So again, they were both kind of looking at the same thing. So Bisu's macro just a little bit better is what we're looking at here. Bisu having a little bit more money in the bank. And it could have been because of the probe kills that we saw earlier, by the way. But anyway, they both have Templar tech, so there's a little bit of a difference here that, you know, BeSt has gone for the High Templar. And look at this. Storm is not complete right now. Storm is at about 80% when this battle is beginning to start, right? So he's got 4 Templar, and they all have not quite enough energy for Storm. but they have Storm incoming. So basically, in about 15 seconds, these Templar will have Storm researched and enough energy for Storm. And that exact moment is when Bisu goes in for an attack. And here's the other thing too. Look at that. He actually dodges the shot. The Scarab does go off on his units, but the Scarab was aimed at these Reavers, which get picked up into the shuttle with no damage done to them. So the Reavers are very healthy. But this is crucial. This is the point where BeSt lost the game, is right here, where he has his Reavers kind of unattended. His Dragoons are all up here for some reason, maybe looking to defend this expansion. He didn't have an observer. Where's observers? Yeah, BeSt's observers are kind of over here looking for drops. So he didn't have vision of this region, right? And so he doesn't know that Bisu is coming in for this attack. His Dragoons are out of position, and what that means is that Bisu comes in and is able to get free damage on these Reavers, and boom, picks off one Reaver just at the very beginning. So right now, this is the difference. We've got 1 Reaver to 2 Reavers, and we've got essentially 0 Templar, because these cannot use any of their Storms right now. Storm is not yet complete. 0 Templar to 1 Dark Templar that's going to be in the mix as well, and an Archon that's going to follow up as a reinforcement later on. So just with that slight little difference in their planning and the beautiful timing of Bisu, we get this happen. He's forced to Archon morph the Templar because he knows he needs that attack power right now, otherwise they're also just going to die. And then with the Reavers kind of dispatched for BeSt and the Reavers in play for Bisu, there's just not much he could do. And the Templar do. Now this is interesting because Storm just finished. And actually it finished, let's go back 7 seconds. Yeah, Storm is already finished at this point. So this Archon, one Archon got destroyed by Bisu's army. The other one is still morphing over here. Imagine if instead of panicking and turning them into Archons, I'm not saying that was a bad decision, but what if instead of doing that he fell back to here, and now at this moment in time, Storm, instead of one Archon that's not doing anything. If he waited and tried to use some Storms instead, I think this is a better situation for BeSt, and he might have been able to hold things off theoretically, because he does have a few Dragoons left at this point in time. He's like I said, got the reinforcing position. Bisu is expanding. He's not reinforcing. He's got no other forces coming in here. There's nothing on the minimap. There's nothing coming in to reinforce this. So if these forces had gotten stormed, BeSt could have theoretically held this off, I think, with this round of reinforcements that came in. So it's just an interesting thing to note. I think that could have gone either way, and BeSt just was like, okay, well, I think this battle is going to be decided in 10 seconds rather than 15. So I'm going to morph these Archons instead of waiting for the storm, and Bisu able to take the win. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks very much for watching, and GG's. Nice little PvP here, and yeah, like I said, I'm going to be probably doing some streaming tomorrow if you guys want to catch that on, I'm going to do it again on YouTube and on Twitch, so you can watch either way. So anyway, happy holidays, everyone. I hope everyone is staying safe, and I usually don't say, hope everyone's keeping warm, but since I've recently moved to Idaho, it's really, really cold here, so that's now like a concern of mine. When I lived in Southern California, it never occurred to me to say, hope you're staying warm, but now that I live where it's freezing cold much of the time, that's like something I'm saying now. So anyway, I hope everyone's staying safe and healthy and staying warm, and hoping you're all having good holidays, whichever ones you celebrate, and thanks very much for watching. Take care, everybody. GG.